Cincinnati looking to win. Oh, Johnson!
Muhammad for three to tie.
Oh! It's going to be Little.
Watch out. Here comes the big dog. Takes it all the way. Oh! Comes out of the rafters to Janet. Oh,
Kilpatrick outruns everybody.
Y'all create some great players, you know, James Clyde White.
21. And the house goes up. And James gets down.
Gary Clark is a problem. Put the children in the other room. There's a big-time provider at the rim.
With the first pick, Kenyon Martin from the University of Cincinnati.
Run out for Eason. Stevenson throws it up quickly and nails it.
Number 31, Nick Van Exel.
Let's get Tony Bobbitt back in there.
I wonder how Steve Logan would be over in Afghanistan or somewhere. I bet he'd be pretty poised. He just does not get rattled.
The past ain't coming back. Only the jukebox can cue up glory days.
That's too damn bad!
It's not all bad, though. Win or lose, Chatterbox Bearcats is here for you to break it down. The show starts now.
Don't do this to me, Wes. Don't reel me back in. Don't reel us back in now, Wes. What's going on, everyone? Welcome into Chatterbox Bearcats. UC improves to 1-3 in the Big 12. They pick up their first conference victory, 77-68. Domination over Colorado in a game that really probably wasn't even as close as the scoreboard would indicate. Colorado won the second half by 9 points, but Cincinnati dominated early. I think led by as much as 23 in this game. Chuck Walter, Nick Niehaus, we're brought to you by Martino's on Vine. It's the best bar steps away from the campus of the University of Cincinnati. Get yourself some stromboli, some pizza, and support our show by supporting Martino's. Funny enough, Niehaus, I just opened up the mail and Menards knew that it was bag night at Fifth Third Arena. And if you were living under a rock or just are not on social media, the discourse leading into this game was that students, or at least a coalition of people, were going to wear paper bags on their heads and have the first ever bag out at Fifth Third Arena. And former players like Nick Van Exel and Jacob Evans and Kevin Johnson and go down the list stepped in and said, you can not support the team. You don't show up to the game, whatever. That's making a stand, but putting the bags on your head is a little degrading. And whatever, it lit a fire under their ass. I'll tell you that much. I mean, early on, Baba Miller and Mustafa Cham made NBA play after NBA play. I mean, Baba Miller, you see the NBA potential with a game like tonight where he goes 10 of 17, 11 rebounds, 25 points to lead the way. He had 2 blocks. The team had 9 steals. They had 5 blocks as a team. Really, you watch tonight's game and you wonder how the hell this team is 8-8. And then you see that box score, 3-point stat line, 3 of 16 for 19%. And you say, oh yeah, I remember why.
Yeah, Chuck, no bags were on any heads tonight. So I was
not a single one. There wasn't any Trailblazers.
Not a single one. Boots on the ground. I didn't see any bags on heads. There were plenty of boos, both in liquid form and in vocal form when Wes Miller was announced as the head coach after the starting lineup. So people still got the boos in, and they definitely made their voice heard when it comes to the state of the program. Nobody's happy. But if there was ever a Wes Miller, like, put the finger to the lips, like, shush the crowd, it was in the first 4 minutes, because Cham and Baba, like you said, those two, they've been kind of underperforming all year. Baba, not so much, because even in games against Power 4 opponents where he didn't score much, he still made his presence known. He's one of the best rebounders in the entire country. And he's just really good in general. Cham started off slow, but we saw this at UCF last year, where in the non-con, he wasn't great for Central Florida, but then when Big 12 play started, he really turned it on, and that's exactly what we're getting from Cham in the past few games. Those two, the two-headed monster to start the game, were elite. Elite. But again, it's one of those things. We're playing 12-5 Colorado. They stink. We're 8.5-point favorites. Is this because they stink or because those two really are good? It's hard to say. We just can't do this against good teams. It's really frustrating. But again, the silencer Wes Miller had to the crowd in the first 5 minutes was nice. And we're off and running until, of course, the second half when the Buffs came back.
Baba's flawed. I'll say that much. I mean, if he could just hit like 35% of his 3-point shots and keep you even as honest as like Donovan Clingan has at this point in the NBA, where if you don't guard him, he's going to hit a three, he'd be a lottery pick because he has the playmaking chops. He can facilitate. He can handle for his size. He's an excellent rebounder, like an NBA plus rebounder. And he's got the grab and go potential, the old Shively grab and go. Where, he could snatch boards and push the pace and find his teammates in transition. They're just not knocking down threes. And he's special, man. Defensively special. Chom, again, there have been some moments this season where there's a little to be desired, but 15 points, 2 rebounds. He was 6 of 8 from the floor, had like the baby hook working early, hit a 7-footer, which I know it's just a 7-footer, but let's get real. Aziz Bandago and 2 seasons, never hit that shot.
Never.
So he at least shows the ability to stretch it to 7 feet. And then he's hit some threes that shows he can stretch it to 22, 23 feet. But there still remain issues on this year's team. One, just the bench as a whole. You get 16 minutes from Jalen Celestine. But aside from that, I thought McKinley gave you 8 good minutes, even though his stat line read 0 points and just a couple of assists. But when he's out there with Baba Miller, this team looks massive, huge. I mean, McKinley's a big man. And then Sean Abayev had 7 points in his 9 minutes. He gave you some decent minutes, mainly getting the charity stripe, knocking down 4 of his 6. But Keyshawn Tillery, 8 minutes. I mean, that's your bench. It's just not that strong right now. Kirk Ariza, obviously not in the fold. And then Jalen Haynes, we will see if he joins the team on the floor at any point this season. But Jizzle, Day-Day, Sincere, that's not the strength of your team. The guards we've known have been the weakness of this year's team for a while. You got to find a way to get Baba cooking in transition, for him to be your lead facilitator. Taking 17 shots is a beautiful thing. He takes more shots than Day-Day and Jizzle combined. That's your recipe to winning games, not 9-footers from Jizzle and Day-Day, man. Wish there was a little more of this. Wish we could see maybe a little Jalen Haynes moving forward for a mix-up. But at least on this night, you pick up a win, and there's plenty more opportunities to actually make a push at this thing. Unfortunately, Colorado, Central Florida, Arizona State, there's like 4 or 5 teams in the conference that you feel decent that Wes Miller can take down. Question is, Iowa State on Saturday, can he get the monkey off his back there? Because they have not played well against the Cyclones.
I was going to say it's a good thing that we did this tonight. We had a little palate cleanser after the awful stretch we've had, because it only gets worse from here. Iowa State, after a drumming that they took from Kansas at Fog Allen, they're going to come in. And I think 2 years ago, I think we reached half court maybe 10 times in that entire game. They really punked us. I'm setting the over-under at offensive possessions over half court at like 18.5. I'm curious if we even have the ball 19 times over half court. Obviously, I kid, but Iowa State has obviously owned us in the past few years. And when they get smoked by Kansas, it's not a good thing. They're going to be mad. They're going to be pissed off. So again, definitely a good thing. That's weird. Oh God, Chuck.
One can dream, right? Off one
win,
win, one can dream.
It's all we want. But it was.
Isn't that the nice thing though about being in this conference as compared to the American? Like if you had this start to a season in the American with losses to like Eastern Michigan, and then started off your conference slate losing to Memphis, Tulane, East Carolina, and you lost to Clemson, and you lost to Georgia, and you lost to Xavier, you wouldn't have a shot in hell. You'd have to run the conference tourney. I mean, Cincinnati can lose 5 more games realistically and get in the NCAA tournament, so there's always hope. But it's that Lloyd Christmas, so you're telling me there's a chance. No, Lloyd, there's no chance. You're a dumbass, and she's a rocket. You don't have a chance, Lloyd. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I just there's not 11 more wins on this schedule. There's simply not. But you said this, and I don't want to be like I'm stealing your words, because I swear to God, I said it to my friend at the game. It is a shame that this team isn't better than what they are, because you see how they start off this game. And again, it's all on a scale. We're playing Colorado. They're not any good. But Baba Miller and Cham really are, I don't want to say NBA talents, but they're close to it. And we just look so good. But then the second half, it's just more hero ball. And it's really hard to dissect like what goes wrong with this team, because the offense just looks so bad. They're like, I don't know what's bad about it. It's not only the missed shots, but it's like, again, hero ball where you dribble at 20 seconds, nothing happens. Somebody has to make a play and they don't make the shot. And it's just tails all the time.
They sub, and there's 2 freshmen in the game with Baba Miller taking 3 threes. That's something that you got to bring up, because UC on the season is 300th, worse than 300th in 3-point percentage. They were like 3 of 22 in their previous game. They go 3 of 16, good for 19% in this game. Baba goes 0 of 3. You have Sincere Harris taking 2 threes, missing them. At a certain point, Wes Miller has to banish the 3-point shot. This has to be like some Washington Bullets basketball from back in the day, where everything comes inside the 3-point line, because the 3-point line doesn't exist. I don't know if UC has to just go Hoosiers fashion and take the 3-point line away on their court, bring up the old Armory Fieldhouse court that doesn't have the 3-point line and practice that way, because they have to stop taking threes. I don't care if you're open or not. Step in, Baba. Use your length. You can glide to the basket in like a dribble. Quit shooting threes. You stink at them. Quit shooting them.
Sincere Harris took 2. And it's like when Vic Lawkin took a couple last year. Shout out our guy Vic. But the groans against Houston when Vic, well, actually, those were boos when Vic took threes. But there's groans when Sincere Harris has the ball. And it's like one of those things where you obviously don't want him to shoot it. But part of you is like, I kind of want to see him put this up, because he's got 8 feet of separation. He's wide open. It's like, this guy's a Division I basketball player. Surely he can put the ball through the basket. I mean, I see, 10-year-olds hit threes all day long. Why can't this guy shoot the ball? He's wide open. But yeah, so that's the treatment Sincere Harris is getting. I get it, Chuck. You don't want to shoot threes, but that's the way you win games nowadays. I mean, maybe not. We won today, and it's just Colorado made 7 of 20. They shot 35%. We would die for 35%, actually. Chuck, we shot 35 free throws. My goodness. 24 of 35, 69%. I guess I'll take that, like
home cooking.
I'll take 24 free throws made. It's still not an amazing percentage, but I think that's definitely won us the game.
Comment that comes in: Baba or Titus Rubles in a game of horse?
Oh, Baba. But come on. I mean, it's got to be Baba. I refuse to believe Titus Rubles beating anybody in a game of horse.
I guess it comes down to who's knocking down the 7-footer better, because neither of them are making a 3 to extend the game that way.
Well, if it's Cham in that 7-footer contest, like that dude is nails with a jumper. That was one thing we kind of saw early on in the season, is Cham has a good shot, maybe not so much from 3. And I don't think anybody's giving him a chance to shoot from 3, because he missed early on and we just had a center for 3 years who couldn't shoot at all. And then you see our 7'2" guy and you're like, this isn't going to change. He's not going to make it either. And he hasn't, but that guy can shoot. Cham can shoot from, mid-range to short range. He has nice touch. He's really good. You can see why, maybe they overpaid for him, because the potential is there. The talent is there. He looked really good tonight, and he has looked really good in Big 12 play.
The recipe for this team is simple, man, and men and Cats fans. Quit shooting threes. You got to put pressure on the rim. One thing that UC has, and they're not a great rebounding team. Let's check that statistic tonight. 32 for Cincinnati and 33 for Colorado. For the past couple of years, they have not been out rebounding their opponents, which is strange, because that team with Jameel Reynolds and Aziz and John Newman, they were one of the best teams, if not the best team in the Big 12 and one of the best in the country at rebounding. We thought that was going to be Wes's identity. And the team just got a little soft last year, and they haven't really been able to grab boards this year. But you got to put pressure on the rim. You have to use the size, the athleticism, and just the verticality to beat teams. And you saw some nice plays today where, like, I think it was Jizzle was 25 feet away from the basket, and Colorado was trying to run a zone. They knew the scout was make this team shoot threes, and Jizzle said, I'm not going to take a three. I'm just going to throw it behind your line. And we got a 7-footer that can actually catch the ball and put it through the hole standing there. I mean, Baba's an elite finisher around the rim for someone that size. Like he's essentially like a small forward that's 6'11", and he's a tantalizing talent, man.
He also has such a quick jump. Like he got one on the block when he was wide open, but you would see guys just lay it in, and he got the ball and he's immediately just jumping out of the gym to slam dunk it. Like that guy's got such a quick jump, and that is a sneaky good thing for a big, because you don't see it all the time where guys are slow. You know, they're heavy on their feet. Baba is the opposite of that. That guy can jump out of the gym and he does it really quick. I mean, the dunks he has, like other programs at home would die for. Like that guy, like he hangs on the rim. He looks really good doing it. He's so long. Like he is a highlight tape waiting to happen. But obviously he hasn't put it together against a power 4 opponent until tonight. 25 points. This is the Baba Miller we've been waiting for in terms of scoring. This is what best players do. If he doesn't have a game like this, we probably lose to Colorado. 25 points. When's the last time we had a guy just go off like this? I mean, it happens against us all the time.
He's gone off a couple times for like 23 and 13 or something, but not against high major teams. So it's nice to see him do that. And Nate J comes in with Baba as Brandon Miller that can't shoot. A lot of similarities from like a build standpoint. I don't think their games are that similar. Like Brandon Miller, I think Baba's a better facilitator, man. Baba's a better facilitator. Brandon Miller's just a better like playmaker from a different aspect. Like Brandon Miller's going to get his own. He's unreal in isolation. So good from the mid range. Baba he's good at generating offense. If he had a better team around him, he'd be so elite, because it's extremely rare where, and this is what made the Warriors so damn good back in the day. You could run Draymond at the 5, he'd get the board and he'd push the pace and generate the offense. And Baba has the ability to do that. You don't necessarily need to get it to a guard. It's Baba who can bring it up the floor, and he can get to the bucket in 3 dribbles and finish. He can, cram it from the free throw line, essentially. He can stop on a dime and add in a little spin move. Like he's got a little repertoire to his game. Hasn't really figured out that mid-range portion that Brandon Miller has, but there's a reason why Brandon Miller was, I think, the number 2 pick in the NBA draft years ago and is trending towards an all-star. Baba Miller is not that yet. I don't think he's ever going to be that, but man, he's a good defender and he's an elite rebounder. And I'm glad they have him on this year's team. Are the voicemails queued up and ready to go, Niehaus?
I got one. I was going to say, we haven't, said it on air. I got to say it. So it's 513-400-4203 to leave a voicemail. I already put it in the chat. We got one. I'm pretty sure I saw him in person. He said, what's up to me? And he said, we got 11 more wins on the schedule. So I'm pretty sure this is Max from Cleveland. Maybe he's in Cincinnati, but at least he's sticking by the take. I want to say so. Brendan, he said Mustafa Cham 4 days ago. I think he's replying to me saying, when's the last time we had somebody go off? Going off for me is 25 plus. Like we don't get that very often. And you look at teams that are really good. We've been saying it for years. They have alphas. We haven't had an alpha. We need Baba Miller to be an alpha. 25 points, plus. That'll get the job done. And it's like, oh yeah, how complex of a storyline is that? You just need a guy to score 25 a night. Sure, great. But like, it's what you need. Sometimes on a team like this that can't shoot, it's what you need.
Yeah, and you need connective tissue. You need the team playing together with better basketball IQ. And that's why Colorado was able to get into it in the second half. I thought UC started turning it over a little bit. Only 10 for the game, and they forced Colorado into 17. But they forced Colorado into those 17 turnovers because they made entry passes difficult. The ball pressure was swarming. Again, they're so long. They're so quick. They should be a good defensive team. and they had moments today where they looked pretty elite. And then offensively at the beginning of the game, they were whipping it around. They had set plays. They weren't passing it around the perimeter, staring at 25-footers late in the shot clock. They were getting pretty much whatever they wanted against Colorado. So we'll see if that continues against Iowa State. Voicemails.
Are you playing it or is it me?
You. I don't have the
Okay.
voicemails.
All right.
All right, Max from Cleveland here. 1 down, 11 to go. Let's step away for a second here. I get why everyone bitches at Wes Miller all the time. I get it. However, at some point, you got to take a look in the mirror and talk about who's hiring these people. 2 bad hires in basketball, 1 bad one in football, and the dude does nothing right in the athletic program. Sells the game out to Arrowhead for no reason, makes it an away game instead of playing an Indy that we all got to go to. We would all go to. And then you keep scheduling games at the worst arena in America and making them $60. John Cunningham's the problem. To be totally honest, if he's making the next hire, I don't want Wes Miller gone. He's the bigger problem. John Cunningham is a moron. Go Cats, good win, good to get back in fifth, third.
John Cunningham, the funniest thing is if you go on Go Bearcats website, they clearly haven't updated it in like 4 years. And it's like John Cunningham, the day one campaign, raised $100 million and was involved in the historical signing and extension of Wes Miller, one of the youngest coaches to ever win X, Y, and Z amount of games. And I'm like, dude, that's pretty tone deaf. Like, you got to kind of switch that. Here's the thing, Niehaus. At this point, they're not firing Wes. I mean, we almost had a paper bag. I'm talking this season.
Okay.
They're not firing Wes. They almost had a paper bag protest, and it didn't happen. And he got the monkey off his back. He got 1 win. He got booed tonight. They're not firing him this season. So he's going to have a chance.
Well, also,
if this team pulled a Kevin Keats, and I'm not talking Final Four, but I'm talking got in the NCAA tournament, would it make you change the way that you felt about Wes if he was able to rally these troops together and they played good basketball and they got to the tournament? Or are you just so impossibly out that there is nothing that he can do to bring you back in?
There is nothing. There is nothing. It's like that take our old colleague had about 2 years ago. Remember that? The Ohio State. He's like, the worst thing Ohio State can do is win the national championship because that means Ryan Day is back. Awesome rage bait, by the way. But anyway, no, there is literally nothing. The ship is sailed. I don't know if Cunningham's talked to him and been like, by the way, you're going to be gone, but he is pre-fired. He's already fired. He's gone. He's gone. There's nothing he can do. It's just the same old thing. Even tonight in a win, it's second half winning time and we're blowing it. And thankfully Day, put the team on his back and hit a 3 and then hit a crazy bucket after that. It's not happening. Also, I want to say Cunningham didn't hire Brandon, right?
No.
So
no, it was
he's made one bad hire in, I guess, Satterfield, in my opinion. And it's hard not to say Wes was a bad hire, but
I mean, he was a hot pick, man.
Yeah,
and he was going to get hired somewhere. It's the extension that makes it so bad. It's the fact that so many fans can look at the product on the floor and say, this isn't Bearcat basketball. This isn't going to get any better. And they've just allowed it to get to this point. And I would love to be a fly on the wall for some internal meetings and see whether they have backed Wes this entire time and believed in Wes this entire time. And I'm talking fly on the wall at like a family party or at church when you're confessing your sins, something along those lines, because he's obviously not saying this to Wes Miller. But I'd love to get into the head of that mad scientist, John Cunningham, and see whether, after West Virginia last year, when I said that everyone should show up to Fifth Third with pitchforks, did he actually believe internally, no, let's just get him some more money for a GM, and this is going to flip around next season? Because if so, he truly is a moron. Unfortunately, I don't think he's that much of a moron. I just think he screwed himself in a financial package with Wes to where if he would have fired him last year, it would have been like $10 million. They couldn't have afforded that, A. And B, had they had to cut that check, then what does that say about Cunningham? If he's got to go to President Pinto and all the chancellors and all the people that make these decisions and say, yeah, I'm going to need some money. I made a mistake. Sorry about it.
Well, not only that, Chuck, Wes Miller, after doing nothing for 4 years, raised $10 million for the roster. This is a $10 million roster. So not only did we not raise $10 million to get him out of here, we raised $10 million to support him. So it's kind of the opposite, which is crazy. I had a thought. I think it was in the comments, kind of lose. Oh, the other reason why I'm out on Wes, even if we make a tournament run, I think the timing might be really good this year to get a top tier candidate. Ohio State looks like they're not going to hire or fire Diebler. What other coaches are on the hot seat? I mean, the only thing we really got to worry about is old guys. Hopefully Izzo runs it back. Hopefully Bill Self runs it back. Hopefully Rick Barnes runs it back. Those are 3 guys that I am worried about. Let's make sure that they don't do too well in March so that they ride off into the sunset. We need those 3 to lose in the first or second round because we're probably the best program out there with a head coaching vacancy unless something crazy happens.
All right, this comment coming in from Tyler. Who's to say Cunningham hasn't told Wes he's already coming back? We don't have a clue, really.
It's not happening.
If it were to happen,
it's not.
There'd be. We're not.
I'm
Tennessee,
organizing the protest. It's not happening.
I'd say it would be Greg Schiano, Tennessee levels of protest, but if that did happen, and it happened with UC going like 5-13 in the Big 12 this year, I would advise everyone to cancel their season tickets. And I mean that. And you say, well, Chuck, come on, you support the program, whatever. That's at that point, that's delusional. You're not even trying to win. You're just trying to make some money and stay compliant and, not pull the plug on something that clearly is broken. And if that's the case, then that's not the program I fell in love with. I fell in love with a competitor.
Yeah. I mean, I've got great news. That's not even in the realm of possible. I'm pulling a Lilly. I'm not even accepting the possibility that that's going to happen because it's not. All right, $10 on him coming back 5-1. I would take that. That's 10 free dollars.
How about Miami, man? The trolling up in Oxford. And here's the funny thing. Miami basketball hasn't beat UC like since I've been alive. The football team's won once in the last like 22 games. Like they're not a rival. And for them to start poking the bear as we're down bad and make fun of the paper bags and everything. I mean, I guess salute to the old social media team for that one. But I saw a video of Millette Hall for their last game, and there were 2,000 people in that dump, in that band stadium. There were 2,000 people in there. So shut up at the end of the day. Good people up there in Oxford, fun campus. Stay away from the trash cans at Brick Break. Or what do we call it? Brick Street. Stay away from the trash cans. Whatever you do, those will ruin you. The 4-4 ruin you. But it's stupid talk. Don't even in a season where you're 18-0, I still think UC would beat them.
Oh yeah, they haven't beaten anybody. I'm pulling up their schedule right now. I want to know their best win, and then everybody's like, "Oh, nobody wants to play them." It's like, are we talking about the same? Talk about the MAC here, right?
Dude, I saw a tweet compare them to the 2020 Dayton Flyers today. And I'm like, dude, that team had freaking Obi Toppin and they may have had Tamani Kamara. Like, give me a break with this Miami, Ohio talk.
I'm not kidding. I literally couldn't pick out what their best win is. Their best non-con win is probably Air Force, I guess. I don't know. I don't know any of these schools. I mean, we're talking about Maine. We're talking about Wright State. We're talking about Indiana University East. Does that even count? Is Milligan a college? This is low. It was
Danny
little bro.
Milligan University.
This is little bro. Such a little brother move. And you know what? Props to the social media team. It is what it is.
30 minutes for me is a solid show after a win against Colorado. We'll go 50 for sure. If they beat Iowa State. Any voicemails to get to? Any final thoughts to get to?
No, I ran into a few people, like 3 or 4 separate people tonight who were like, this voicemail tonight is going to be legendary. You just wait for it. And we've only gotten one. You know what? I got to give a shout out to the listeners though. Like they've poured in with the voicemails. This is the only time we've had a lack of voicemails. It's because we won and nobody cares. You know, like people will call in and complain after a loss, but you beat a bad team in conference play where you almost fumble it. And everybody's like, okay, I guess that happened. I'll just go home. And I was walking out. So I went with a buddy. We went our separate ways right out the gates. And he texted me later. He's like, it is silent outside this game. I've never heard a more silent. Well, I guess that's a oxymoron, but he said, I've never heard a more silent walkout of a game. It's like nobody cared. Nobody cared.
There wasn't much energy in there, man. That was a nationally televised Peacock stream, good production, but you could just tell, like, UC went up 21-6 at one point. And usually, honestly, I was giving them a standing ovation from my couch. I'm like, they're playing good basketball. They're playing competitive. How is this team 8-8? Malpractice of a coaching job to have this bunch at 8-8 with the talent that they have. But it just really didn't feel like there was much electricity in there. But I've always thought that UC is a program that turns it up in the big games, in the big spots. You know, like Houston, electric from start to finish. Xavier, electric from start to finish. If that was Kansas tonight, would have been electric regardless. But sometimes against teams like Colorado and UCF, it's got to go down to the wire for the old jumping around to happen in the student section like we're back in 2002.
Yeah, it might not have been loud, but I'm looking at the attendance. It was still 9,300, and it was crowded. It felt, normal. Not great, obviously. It felt like a bye game. It felt like a Monday night playing Lipscomb. So and that's the sad part of it all, is that this is still a fan base that is selling out the arena. I guess not tonight, but in general, and the team stinks. And again, I don't think it's for the lack of talent. We looked really good to start this game, and you can see the talent just ooze through. Can I say something, Chuck? Can I say something? I keep looking at the box score, and I think I need to demand an apology from you, because the whole Jizzle James saga, this is exactly what we were worrying about with Jizzle James. And 1 for 9 from the field, 6 points, 31 minutes. It's like as if he took triple the shots last year and made triple of them, obviously. And now triple of 1 is 3. So that wouldn't have been great. But like, he scored 14 points last year, but he made 5 baskets out of 22 shots. This is the worry, that we're going through this year. And Jizzle's just going to be very low efficient. Is that even I don't even know if that's correct grammar, but he's not going to be efficient. And that was the worry. So
low efficiency, Regis. Final answer.
Jeez.
I mean, he hasn't shot the mid-range well this season. Ironically, it was his freshman year that he looked so automatic from the mid-range, and that's why I thought he had a really bright future as a scorer. And he's shown moments for sure. Like, you saw him at Iowa State last season go off to where he was like the best player on the floor. So he's got that type of capability. We'll see if it happens this year. But they're running him 31 minutes because there's no one else. I know someone popped in the chat and said, I love the passion that Keyshawn Tillery brings. True. I mean, he's a good-looking freshman out there, but he's a freshman. And to have lineups where, Tillery and Abayev and Celestine and Sincere Harris and Baba Miller, your 5 that you're running out there, it better be for 2 minutes at a time. Unfortunately, Wes has kind of realized that. He's running Baba Miller 34 minutes and Day Thomas 33 minutes. We've been begging for this for years now, since he's been running guys for 26, 27, and he knows his job's on the line, and he's finally doing it, man. May the best person win, and unfortunately, they just don't have enough of them right now. Yeah,
I'm reading a comment. He said, to be fair, Jizzle was taking shots when our offense was stagnant, a lot of latent shot clocks. So I feel like that's slightly misleading. Yeah, that's probably so. I mean, he is the one with the ball, and the ball doesn't move for 20 seconds, and somebody has to be a hero, just like we said early on in the show. But I get that. So maybe, again, that's misleading. But this is the same song and dance. The guy's never been efficient in his career here. So I don't want to take this to a place where I'm just ragging on Jizzle, but we need him to be good. We need him to be good. If we want to beat a good team, we need everybody to be good. We need Baba to do what he did and to be the best player and to score like it. We need Chom to score when he gets the ball because he doesn't get it a ton. He took 8 shots. He made 6 of them. Had a great game. He's looked really good in the last couple weeks. And then we need some guards to step up. Day finally did late in the second half. It won us the game. And Jizzle would be great to have step up. And Sean, he made a 3 tonight. So give credit to him.
Nice. And yeah, don't overlook Jizzle's on-ball defense, what he can do out on the perimeter on that side of the ball, and then protecting the basketball tonight with just 1 turnover in 30-something minutes. You'll take that. Not saying he had a great game by any means. He's got to hit shots to have a great game, but he wasn't a complete negative out there,
Correct.
Which is huge, because at this point, Baba's your dude. He's your facilitator. He should have the ball in his hands every single possession. You should get an inside touch to Chom. I mean, good things were happening when you were going inside out from Chom to Baba penetrating, kicking to Day, who would find, a relocated Baba who would hoop it up to Chom, who would throw it down. Like, there was a lot of ball movement going on the first half to where it looked like they had been in the gym working together and had been coached up. Second half, there was some stagnation, but hey, Wes isn't lying. This team is getting better. This team right now, I would have to think would beat Eastern Michigan. I think they may beat Xavier. Like, they are getting better. Unfortunately, they put themselves in such a hole to where they have to be awesome the rest of the season to get into the NCAA tournament. And they put themselves, this coaching staff has, in so much of a hole the past 5 seasons to where there are probably some fans out there that, are begging that he doesn't make a run in the NCAA tournament because they know it'd be fool's gold. But again, I'm always begging for a run. If Chatterbox Bearcats can go on the road to San Francisco for the Sweet 16 or Tampa Bay for the Sweet 16, you bet your sweet ass we're doing it, whether Wes Miller's the coach or whether it's, the Chris Goggins, not Chris Goggins, Tony Goggins, David Goggins. Who was the guy that ran the UC camps back in the day on Mick Cronin's staff? The day oneers would know this one. Larry Goggins. He was a Goggins.
I'm too young.
At Mick Cronin camp, he'd give it the roll call lines. Hold on, I'm looking this up. If anyone gets this, they are the biggest
Chat,
UC fan
help
of
us
all
out,
time.
Chat. Help us out.
Goggins, UC basketball.
Just thinking Walter Goggins, the actor.
No. This is, Chris Goggins.
There you go.
Boom.
There you go.
All right. Chatterbox Bearcats. You got anything?
I want to see us beat a good team. That's it. I mean, tonight was nice. We still haven't beaten a good team all year. Wes's great wins are few and far between. Play Iowa State Saturday. That'd be nice to get a win. Do I think it's going to happen? No. We just need to beat a good team. That's it.
Simple as this, folks. There was a protest scheduled at Fifth Third Arena tonight where fans were supposed to wear bags on their heads. And instead, UC walked out of there with a 77-68 win over Colorado. It's their first Power 4, Power 5 conference win of the season. Not a quad 1 win, not a huge win by any means, but nonetheless a win and a chance to gain some serious momentum heading into Iowa State on Saturday. Is that game in Ames or Cincinnati?
Cincy. I'll be there.
Cincy, baby. Get them up, baby. Get them up. Get the down the drives going. This is Chatterbox Bearcats. We'll talk to you soon.